in Tallahassee, Florida, a Republican. Max, you're on with Dr. Paul.
Hi, Congressman Paul. First of all, I'd like to just say it's the great honor of my life to talk to you. Your campaign in 2012 really gave me hope for this country, and I appreciate everything you've done over the many years of service. But my question for you is, this year, your son, Senator Rand Paul, ran, and unfortunately, his campaign didn't go quite as far as I would hoped, and I was wondering what you think the difference was this year that so many young people were turning out for, the caucus for you in Iowa in 2012, where this year, unfortunately, it seemed like the message of liberty wasn't as popular. I mean, you once said freedom is popular. I think that's one of the greatest expressions ever uttered. And it seems this year like people are just burying their heads back in the sand. They don't want to look towards that again.
Dr. Paul.
Yeah, well, conditions change, economic conditions change, the demagogues are out there, the publicity, the anger over ISIS makes a difference. People get more concerned. But I don't think the freedom movement got as much coverage. I can't explain exactly why. Rand did his very best. But we have to say that the one individual who was able to get the attention, not for good, sound political reasons, but Trump got the attention and the media loved him and he drew the crowds. And it was a distraction, from concentrating on individual liberty as a solution to our problems and pointing out why big government is the problem. But the phenomenon that many went to Sanders, we talked about it a few minutes ago, there was a little bit of an overlap because both of us are concerned about the rich getting richer. We just have a different economic understanding. So people went there. But I'm still not discouraged by that because I still think there's a lot of people like you who know about it and understand it, and this thing is going to fall apart. Foreign policy is failing currently, and we won't be able to maintain our empire. And Keynesianism is dead. They cannot revive this. Today's announcements by Yellen, this week, she's not going to come up and say, well, let's just print more money. Let's take interest rates 5% below zero, and we're going to solve the problem. It's all coming to an end. But the freedom movement is alive and well, and we just have to take the opportunity now that people are recognizing, and they're already doing that. Most people say government is a failure, this is a mess, and we're all upset. But our message has to get a little bit louder and a little bit clearer, but there's a lot of people there, and a lot of times an idea smolders along by individual to individual, and it grows and people realize it. So even those people who are flocking to the Republicans and the Democrats, even though they're flocking with a lot of negatives too, there's a lot of people out there said we're fed up, and we have to offer them the option of less government, more personal liberty.
You're not supporting Donald Trump this cycle, correct?
No, I'm not.
There's a Libertarian candidate, Gary Johnson. Are you supporting him?
I'm supporting the Libertarian Party. I think people should vote Libertarian Party, but there's a few things going on, like the vice presidential candidate. I just can't, say, well, I'm really enthusiastic about the ticket. But the Libertarian Party stands for the non-aggression principle. And that means that you and I cannot use aggression to get our way, and you can't use the government to get your way by using force. And that principle is sound on the Libertarian Party, and the more votes I get, the more votes there will be for the non-aggression principle. And that's as far as I go, because I'm just a little bit frustrated with the individuals, all the individuals running and the discussion going on. But my goal is to introduce as many people as possible to the non-aggression principle, which means understanding what true liberty is all about, which was the intent of the founders, but we have sort of squandered that inheritance, and not too many people think in terms of why should we think in terms of individuals rather than groups? That's why I don't like what's going on now, that this group, Muslims are bad people, Mexicans are bad people. Individuals have liberty. They should, and groups should never get benefits, but they never should be punished. But a lot of people, it started with groups should get benefits because they're handicapped or something. So I want people to think that the answer comes in individual liberty. I think the non-aggression principle, which the Libertarian Party endorses, is a good way to cast your vote this year.
Jeff is here in Washington, D.C., and